this video, I'll cover with you what are the steps you need to take to prepare to quit your job without another job lined up. If you like this video, do consider subscribing to my channel. So with that out of the way, let's start. So the first thing that you need to think of is finance, right? Okay, most of us work because we need the money, all right? Okay, if you work out of passion, you wouldn't be thinking of quitting. So if you are going to quit your job without another job lined up, okay, the first thing you need to consider is your finance. Of course, it is not to say that if you are to quit your corporate job, you will have no means to get a source of income. But if you do not already have a source of income that is coming in from other means, like for example from investments and so on, then you truly need to think whether you will be able to afford a lifestyle without any income. Okay, so rather than thinking of, oh, I have no job, I have no income, look at what are the income streams that you have if you do not have a job. So some of us may have income streams from investment, from rental property, from maybe your YouTube channel, or maybe from some side hustles. Okay, it, apart from the cash flows that comes in, also consider the savings that you have set aside. So how much money do I have, or how much would my money last if I would have no more income? Okay, take a look at that. So generally, as you grow older, it is recommended that you actually set aside a longer period of safety buffer. So for example, if you are young, generally you have yeah, well, you have less responsibility, so your expenses could actually shrink to a very low one, because you're just if you are just looking after yourself, right? You just need a room and food to keep you running, right? But if you have family, you have mortgages, you have a lot of commitments, then the amount of finances that you need would be much bigger. So first look at how much you need to sustain your lifestyle, okay? Or to sustain a sustainable lifestyle, okay, without you going bankrupt, without you going hungry and so on. Then next, look at how much money you have and what are your other sources of income. Okay, so once you have looked at this, right, next take a look at, okay, so if I would so once you have looked at this, then you can decide whether it is time for you to quit. Okay, if finance is really tough, okay, I wouldn't recommend quitting your job. Rather, if you do not want to work corporate, you can look for other sources of income. Like for example, you could maybe do some hustling, side hustles, or you could actually look at other means, like maybe venturing into a business, and maybe apart from business, maybe look at investing while still having a job as a safety net while you explore these options. So if your finance is very tight and not having a job for a single month, or for a period of time for 6 months, for instance, will make you close to bankrupt or make you hungry, then don't quit your job, right? Don't quit your job without having another job lined up, because chances are, if you don't have a job, yeah, you quit your job and you don't have a job lined up, and if you really need the money and you do not have a means to generate the money yet, it will take time, right, to get a new job or to be able to generate income from other means. So if money is really tight, then start working on other things that interest you, or start building other sources of income, or look for another job before you quit. All right? If finance is not a problem and you quitting your job wouldn't set you back tremendously, then the next thing to look at will be your vision, right? Well, so what do I mean by vision? So what do you really want in life, right? So if your vision in life is to maybe become a CEO of a company which is in the sector that you are in, then your your goal now, your step now shouldn't be to quit your corporate job, but to rather to look for a job that will bring you closer to your goal. But if your vision is to create a business, to spend more time with your family, or to travel all over the world, then quitting your job aligns with this vision, then yes, it is okay for you to quit the job. So always remember, a lot of people quit their job because they are frustrated with what they are doing now. Okay, and when you, if that is the reason you're frustrated with what you're doing, but your aim in life is still to climb the corporate ladder, then perhaps quitting your job is not the main, is not the solution. Maybe looking for a new, quitting a job without another job lined up might not be the best solution. Maybe looking for a new job or to change to another role might be a better option for you. But if your vision in life has nothing to do with work, but rather you want to maybe explore the world, live your dream, use the time that you have freed up from working at your corporate job to live your dream, then yes, it is aligned with your vision, and feel free to quit your job as long as your finances have been looked after. Okay, and another thing that could be people's vision. So you might not love your job, but one of the other thing that I would see as, oh, you should stay in your job is if your job pays really, really well and your dream is to live a high life with the money, okay? And this job is one that will allow you to earn the most amount of money for the time spent, then do stay in it and accumulate as much wealth as you can while looking at other options to generate even more wealth. Okay, so that eventually you can free up your time to enjoy the life you want. The next thing to do before you quit your job is to look at how your mental health, right? So we need to grow mentally, and one thing good about a job is it keeps us disciplined. So we learn new things because a job asks us to learn new things. Like for example, there's a new software, so we need to learn a new software, or we need to learn how to present ourselves because a job requires us to present ourselves all the time. So uh to be honest, being in a job gives us the discipline to develop ourselves mentally in the way that the company wants us to. Okay, but once you do not have a job, okay, you and only you are responsible on how you want to develop your mental mind. I mean, there is so much TV that you can watch a day, and there is just so much TV that you can watch, there's so much games that you can play. But how do you want your mind to grow? I mean, you do not want your mind to whittle away while you do nothing after you quit your job, right? Okay, it is not good for your health either when you are not growing mentally. So think of what you want to do and how you want to make your mind active, all right? And another factor that you should also think of is social. Okay, if you're a very social person, I guess this wouldn't be an important factor. But for me, this is a very important factor for me because I am not a sociable person. I love staying at home. I don't really care about interacting with people. But as human beings, we need to ensure that we still have a social portion of our lives. So for me, basically my social circles are just some of my old friends and my colleagues. So if I stop going to work, I stop making new friends because just by the virtue of not having colleagues, not having new colleagues, right? But uh, but so if I were to take away the work portion and the colleague portion from my social life, what am I going to put in so that I still interact with people outside of my family, right? So what I would do is I am quite fortunate that my kids are still in the school going age, so I do need to interact with other parents to find out what's happening in school or find out what are the latest school trends, right? So this allows me to continue to have a social life. Okay, well, for me, for a not so really sociable person, having a big social life doesn't really matter to me. I just need to make sure that I'm not cooped up in a well, or I still continue to interact with people other than my family to know what is going on in the world, and to make sure that I remember how to interact with other people. All right. So have a plan. So if you are quitting your job and you're not sociable, so you do so I mean have working at work allows us to have colleagues, which gives us a social circle. So once you take that out, right, make sure that you have an avenue where you continue to be able to socialize. Okay, it could be through religion, it could be through some activities and so on, but just make sure that there is something in your life, or you can add in something to make this social interaction ongoing. And finally, we quit for to do something, right? So make sure that you have a plan for the first few, maybe months of your life after quitting your job, right? I have seen some people, so I have some relatives who quit their job at a very young age because, well, they are able to do so, but they realize that so when they quit their job, their aim was to maybe write a book and do something along the along this line. Okay, but when you do not have the boss or the manager to look at you to make sure that your work is done, you do not have the KPI to make sure that your work is done, sometimes we might not have the discipline to get things done, right? And years years may have passed and you have not achieved what you have set up to achieve. And when you look back, it might be some regret of what have I been doing with this time that I have, right? So you chose to leave your job and not get into another job to live your dream life. Okay, and to live your dream life doesn't mean you do nothing. You have to do something to achieve your dream life. So make sure that you plan your life, or at least for the first few months, right, what you are going to do to make you one step closer to your dream life. Okay, so I would really suggest planning your day or planning your month, okay, on what you want to achieve, and set reviews to make sure that you are moving closer to that target. Okay, because without discipline, it is very easy to get ahead. It's very easy to forget these goals. Okay, and time will have passed before you regretted not doing anything. So really plan your day, or plan your month, plan your year. Make sure that you are walking closer towards your goal. You are going closer to your dream life after having left a job. That is why you left the job in the first place, wasn't it? Alright, so I have covered the steps that or the checklist, or the things that I would look at first before I could move on to quit. So share with me, are these also what you will think of, or let me know if this is useful to me in the comment section below. And till the next time when we see again, bye.